Thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky. You do not create each one, and yet they appear. Some are soft, like a gentle breeze. Others are heavy, filled with worry, fear, or desire. They rise without warning and pull your attention. Many people believe their thoughts are who they are, but this is not true. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Thoughts are like guests in your home. Some stay for a while, some leave quickly, but they are not the home itself. When you look closely, you see that thoughts are always changing. What you believed yesterday may not feel true today. One moment you feel strong, the next moment unsure. This shows the unstable nature of thought. It cannot be trusted as something permanent. Also, thoughts often talk about the past or the future. They pull you into memories, or they make you worry about what might happen. They are like a storyteller who never rests. But this storyteller does not always speak the truth. To understand this is important. When you see that thoughts are just thoughts, you begin to step back. You stop following every story they tell. You start to find peace, even when the mind is busy. This is the first step, to see thoughts clearly without becoming them. Like watching waves in the ocean, you can observe without getting pulled under. You do not need to fight your thoughts. You only need to see them for what they are, passing movements in the mind, not the core of who you are. Sometimes, we do not even notice when a thought begins. It pulls us in so quickly. One small thought leads to another, and soon we are lost in a long chain. This is how the mind works. It connects things, builds stories, and pulls our attention far away from the present. Why does this happen? One reason is habit. From a young age we are taught to think. We solve problems, make plans, and remember things. Thinking becomes our main tool. So when we feel uncertain or uncomfortable, we turn to thoughts. We believe they will help us feel safe or in control. But the mind does not always give helpful thoughts. Many times it gives us worry, regret, or confusion. Still, we follow these thoughts because we think we must. We believe that if we think long enough, we will find an answer. Often, this only makes us feel worse. Another reason we get lost in thinking is emotion. A strong feeling, like fear or anger, brings a wave of thoughts. Those thoughts feed the feeling, and the cycle continues. We don't realize that we are fueling the storm with our attention. Also, we often believe our thoughts are true, simply because they appear. But not every thought is based on fact. Some come from old beliefs, from things we heard long ago. Some are just habits of the mind. To stop being carried away, we must see how this happens. When you know the way your mind pulls you, you can begin to stay steady. You start to notice when a thought appears and where it tries to take you. This noticing is gentle. You don't need to judge or blame yourself. You just begin to see. And that seeing gives you space to choose. Many people try to control their thoughts. They believe that if they think harder or think better, they can shape their lives just the way they want. But this belief often leads to stress and disappointment. Why? Because thoughts are not fully under our control. If you sit quietly for even 1 minute, you will notice how thoughts rise on their own. You may try to stop them, but another thought will soon appear. You may want to think only positive thoughts, but negative ones still come. This shows that thoughts are not something you can control like a machine. Still, we try. We try to fix the mind, to manage every detail, to push away what we don't like. But the more we try to control, the more tension we create. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. This illusion of control comes from fear. We fear that if we let go, something bad will happen. We think control will protect us, but often it only makes us feel more trapped inside our heads. Freedom begins when we let go of this effort. That does not mean we become careless. It means we stop fighting with what we cannot fully control. We allow thoughts to come and go without grabbing each one. When we stop trying to control the mind, a quiet strength appears. We become more steady, even when the mind is busy. We learn to trust that we don't need to fix every thought. Some can be left alone. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. Letting go of control is the beginning of real peace. One reason we get trapped in thoughts is because we judge them. When a thought appears, we often say, "This is a good thought," or "This is bad." We like some, and we dislike others. This creates more thinking. We argue with our own minds. But what happens if we stop judging? What if we just watch a thought like we watch a bird flying across the sky? It comes, it moves, and then it's gone. We don't need to say, "This bird is wrong," or "That one should not be here." We just watch. This kind of watching is gentle. It does not try to change the thought. It simply notices, "Ah, a thought about the past," or "Here is a worry about the future." Nothing more is needed. When you stop judging your thoughts, something beautiful happens. You stop feeding them. A judgment is like fuel. It gives more power to the thought. But simple noticing does not give that fuel. The thought appears, and then it fades, like a candle that burns out on its own. You may think, "But some thoughts are really bad." That may be true. But judging them usually makes them stronger, not weaker. If you treat them like passing clouds, they lose their hold on you. This practice takes patience. At first, you may find yourself judging without even knowing. That's okay. Each time you notice, gently return to just watching. No praise, no blame. Over time, the mind becomes lighter. You no longer feel pulled in so deeply. Thoughts come and go, but you remain still, like a mountain under the sky. This stillness is not something you create. It is something you return to, simply by not judging what passes through your mind. In a world full of noise, stillness may feel strange. Many people think being still means doing nothing. But true stillness is not about stopping action. It is about finding a quiet space inside, even when life continues around you. This stillness is not made by force. You don't need to sit perfectly still or silence every thought. It is more like resting. Resting inside yourself, without trying to fix or control anything. Just being. When you are still in this way, you begin to see clearly. You see your thoughts without becoming lost in them. You hear the noise of the mind, but you do not follow it. You are like a tree in the wind, present, strong, and unmoved. Stillness helps, because it gives you a new place to stand. Most people live inside their thoughts. They jump from one to the next, without pause. But stillness gives you space. From that space, you can see which thoughts are useful and which are just noise. In stillness, you may notice something else too. You may feel a sense of peace that does not depend on anything outside you. This peace is not loud or exciting. It is quiet, soft, and deep. It was always there, but thoughts covered it. You don't need to search far to find stillness. You just need to stop for a moment. Feel your breath. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice what is here, right now. In that simple noticing, stillness appears. It is not a special skill. It is your natural state, waiting behind the busy mind. Thoughts are not the problem. The problem comes when we hold on to them. We try to keep the good ones and push away the bad ones. But this holding creates tension. It's like grabbing a rope and pulling harder when we feel afraid. Instead, we can try something different. We can let thoughts come and go. This means allowing each thought to appear and disappear on its own, like waves rising and falling in the ocean. You don't need to stop them. You just don't need to chase them either. Letting go does not mean ignoring. It means not getting caught. You see the thought, maybe even feel its pull, but you choose not to follow. It's like standing by a road and watching cars pass. Some cars look interesting, some look scary, but you don't have to jump in and ride. Many people ask, how do I let go? The answer is simple, but not always easy. First, notice that a thought is there. Second, pause. That pause is powerful. It creates space between you and the thought. In that space, letting go becomes possible. Sometimes, a thought will come again and again. That's okay. Each time, you can choose to let it pass. It may return 10 times, but each time is a chance to release, not to react. Over time, this becomes more natural. You no longer feel pulled by every idea or memory. You feel more at ease. You begin to trust that thoughts do not control you. They visit, but they do not stay unless you invite them in. Letting go is not weakness. It is a gentle strength, and with practice, it becomes a quiet freedom. When we get caught in thoughts, we often forget we have a body. Our attention rises into the head, and we live in words, images, and ideas. But the body is always here, always now. It is a doorway back to the present. Your body does not think. It does not worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. It only feels what is happening in this moment. Warmth, pressure, movement, stillness. These simple sensations can help bring you out of the storm of thoughts and into something more real. When you feel lost in your mind, try this. Bring your attention to your feet. Feel them touching the ground. Notice how solid the floor is beneath you. Or feel your hands. Are they warm or cool? Soft or tense? These small acts can pull you out of the stories in your head and back into direct experience. Your breath, too, is part of your body. You don't need to change it. Just notice it. Is it deep or shallow? Fast or slow? You're not trying to fix anything. You're only becoming aware. This connection to the body creates space. It softens the hold of thought. You start to feel more grounded, more calm. You realize that you don't need to think your way out of everything. Sometimes, just being present in your body is enough. The body has its own wisdom. It teaches you how to slow down. It brings you back from the future and the past. It reminds you that life is happening now, not inside your thoughts. So when the mind feels too loud, return to the body. It is always here, always waiting to bring you home. When thoughts feel heavy or loud, it can seem like there's no room to breathe. The mind feels full, crowded with worries, plans, or memories. In these moments, you may feel trapped inside yourself. But the truth is, there is always space inside. You just have to notice it. This space is not something you create. It is already there, behind and between your thoughts. You may catch a glimpse of it when you pause, even for a few seconds. It is the quiet background, where thoughts rise and fall. Like the sky behind the clouds, it never goes away, no matter how busy the mind becomes. To find this space, you don't need special training. You only need to stop for a moment and turn your attention inward, not to your thoughts, but to the space around them. Ask yourself, what else is here besides this thought? That simple question can open a door. At first, the space may feel small. That's okay. It grows with practice, and as it grows, your relationship to your thoughts begins to change. You no longer feel pushed or pulled so easily. You begin to rest in something deeper, something more peaceful. This space is gentle. It does not fight with the mind. It does not try to be perfect. It simply allows. It welcomes everything, but holds on to nothing. And in that openness, you start to feel free. Even during a busy day, even in the middle of noise or stress, this space is still with you. You can return to it any time. Just pause, notice, and let the mind settle. Like a stone sinking slowly in water, you return to your own quiet depth. When you are no longer carried away by every thought, something shifts inside. Life becomes clearer. This clarity is not about having all the answers. It is about seeing things as they are, without the fog of constant thinking. Inner clarity means you respond, not react. When a thought or emotion appears, you have space to pause. You can choose what to do, instead of being pushed by old habits. This creates a quiet confidence, not loud or proud, but steady. With clarity, you begin to notice what truly matters. You may still think, of course. The mind does not stop working, but you are no longer trapped in it. You don't follow every thought just because it shows up. You can say, "Not now," or even, "That's not helpful." You treat your thoughts like visitors, not rulers. This way of living brings more ease. You may still face stress or pain, but they do not shake you in the same way. You learn to stand in the middle of life, steady and open. You begin to see that peace is not something far away. It is here, inside, when the mind is not in charge. People around you may notice the change. You may speak more slowly or listen more deeply. You may smile more often, not because everything is perfect, but because you feel less burdened inside. Inner clarity is not something you achieve one time. It is a way of living, a way of meeting each moment with honesty and calm. You return to it again and again, each time the mind tries to take you away. And each time you return, it becomes a little easier to stay. This journey is not about reaching a perfect state. It is about walking gently, step by step, with more awareness and less struggle. Some days will feel easy, others more difficult. That is natural. What matters is the kindness you show yourself along the way. There is no need to rush. Even small moments of noticing can open great peace. When you feel lost in thought, you can simply pause. When you feel tight inside, you can return to stillness. These quiet choices shape your life in a deep and lasting way. You may forget again and again. That's okay. What matters is that you remember again, even for just one breath. The path is not a straight line. It curves, it turns, but it always leads back to this moment and to the calm that lives within you. I want to say thank you for being here and for spending this time with me. If this video has been helpful in any way, I'm truly grateful. Your support through likes, subscriptions, comments, super thanks, and membership means a great deal. It allows me to continue sharing these teachings with care and respect. Your presence, your attention, and your openness are not small things. They are part of something meaningful. Wherever you are in the world, please know that your journey is respected. You are not alone. May your days be touched by quiet moments. May your thoughts pass like clouds. And may you find, again and again, the gentle space inside you that holds everything with peace.